Greetings. Friday, the 17th of July, 10 to 10 in the morning, gentleman's hour. So, what's been going on for the last month? Well, I've been away on holidays, as many of you will seen on the blog site, on construction.com's blog. Went down to Italy on the train and went across to the lakes, Lake Garda, and had a most wonderful time. Hotel was superb. The group that we went with was great. Everybody got on, and yeah, just a really good holiday. Well, recommend trying the train systems across Europe. They are very efficient, very comfortable, and the food on board is pretty good as well. And the countryside, awesome. You don't miss any of this on the train. In a flight, it's there and back. You miss all the countryside and the buildings and everything else on the way down. Takes 2 days, but well worth the trip. So that's the holiday out the way. Loads of good photographs of building and construction and everything else I saw. They're on my Flickr account. That's Flickr/Scays, S-C-A-Y-S. Have a look and see what you think. No personal stuff up there, just basically nice buildings and construction, arches, into arches at the moment, windows, detailing, everything I could see that was interesting to me as a technologist. So, what else has been going on? Well, the blog's been updated quite a bit just recently, and I'm pleased to say that the numbers are starting to build up quite nicely again. Had a drop off where I went from the WordPress self-hosted system, the org, to my own domain, onlyconstruction.com, and I put WordPress onto that through an American server. Very, very good. And now everything is up and running. The numbers are starting to pick up again as people have found me from the old site, and my Twitter account, Scays again, is running quite nicely. So have a look and see what you think about the blog site. I'm quite pleased with it. A couple of good things that have happened just recently, and I'd like to share that with you, really. First one is Italian detail. Now, I'm a major fan of Italian things, from cycles, as in my youth, because the best cycles are always Italian. I don't know whether that's true anymore. But to food and to architecture. Now, Mussolini was a person you shouldn't really talk about because of the things he did, but some of it was absolutely excellent. And if you want to see something good in architecture in Italy, which is modern, go and have a look at Milan Station. Awesome, awesome architecture. Bold stone arches that you would dream to design. Absolutely great. Now, I've just logged into my site just to go and try and find some things to talk about, and this will be cut out, of course. So, recent articles that I've gone on to, and what I think I should mention is I found a very nice article on Twitter for a thing called, well, it's screen dump from your iPhone. Now, you may wonder why this is good for architecture. Well, it's great because I was doing some conversions from metric to imperial, and I wanted to save a record of it, so I took a screen dump. And all you do is hold down the sleep button on the top of your iPhone, this one here, and press the home key, which is that one there, together at the same time, and it takes a screen picture of what's on the screen. Saves it to your camera roll, use it, load it up to Flickr, and use it for your blogs, or put it onto an email. Now, it saves it as a PNG file, which is no problem for Mac, and also for Flickr by the look of it. But hey, it's great, and it's a very easy way of just saving a record of your screen. And I didn't know about this, but got it out on Twitter. Local materials. I'm big into saving as much as I can for my local contractors, and I tend to specify local materials. Now, this is a book that I use an awful lot. It's Magnet Trade. Now, Magnet's a trade name for a timber company within the Midlands, probably UK wide, and they are, yes, they're all over England. And basically they do timber products. Now, a vast majority of this is down to kitchen stuff, but they do made-to-measure stairs, doors, hardwood, softwood, and all the special appliances that go onto a door. Now, this is good for little tiny contractors because they all know where to get magnet from. Magnet's got some very good trade counters across the country, and there's one local to me. So that's why I specify their materials. So what else have I been talking about? Now, I've just done a very nice link up with Jonathan Pickup down in New Zealand, and we've been looking at Vectorworks in the cloud for an awful long time, wondering how to do it, because I'm a big fan of sharing my work. Some of my work I share out with colleagues who have also got Vectorworks, and they use my files to generate designs and send them back to me. Now we've found a system, or Jonathan found a system called Dropbox. Now Dropbox.com have an incredible system. Not only does it put a link onto your machine. Now I'm talking about Macs here, not Windows. I don't know how it works on Windows, but on a Mac I just see it as another file in my places. I click on it and immediately the file is there that I want to share. Now I'm starting to put a lot more files up on the internet like this, and as far as I can see, it's cloud computing at its best. Vectorworks, I can open it up. You can't copy it or click it and expect Windows. You can't expect Mac to open it up in Vectorworks. You've got to go into Vectorworks and open it from that file. But once you've done that, any changes I make, Jonathan was seeing a couple of seconds later. I put up a couple of items onto the dictionary just recently, and one that I thought was quite interesting was torching. Now we don't do it now because we've got sarking materials that stop the problem of weather ingress into the roof space, into a pitched roof. But in days gone by, and particularly when I first started out in architecture, it was common practice to put a very small amount of mortar in between the top tile and the bottom tile at the roofing batten. Now this stopped any air being driven up with rain in it into the roof space, and it was common practice. Now you don't do it now, but if you're going into an extension and you're doing a refurb in the roof or loft conversion, which is what I'm doing a lot of just recently, then you're going to see it and you're going to wonder what the hell it's all about. Well, it's quite simple. It's called torching, and it was done on almost every roof that I've ever been into that's over 20 years old. While I was travelling around Italy, particularly in Venice, it amazes me. Venice is one of those places that's built on a series of little islands, but the majority of it is built on stilts. So you've got big timber stilts, this sort of size timber stilts going down, and there's loads of them. And the houses were built off those timber stilts. And a lot of them are brickwork. Now you see a lot of the mortars coming off where it's been repaired over the years, but some of them are just brickwork, and the brickwork is absolutely fine. It's not cracked. They understood that the building was going to do. They probably used lime mortar, and the building is in fine condition for a brick building that may be 300 or 400 years old. That's actually built off timber stilts that's sitting in water. Very, very interesting place to go and have a look at. Also, in St Mark's Square, go and have a look at the clock. There's a massive clock near the Doge's Palace. Someone come back to me and tell me what's wrong with that clock. I know the answer. Go and have a look at it and tell me what's wrong with it. And then go and have a look at other clocks and tell me why they're also wrong. Talk to you soon. Bye.